Good morning, dear students. So in the previous video we discussed about the male reproductive system. We discussed about the primary sex organs, the secondary sex organs, and we discussed the structure of the male reproductive system. Today we will be discussing the female reproductive system. Again, it has the primary sex organs, the gonads, which are the ovaries. Two ovaries are situated at in the lower abdomen at the two sides of the abdomen, and there are secondary sex organs which include various ducts and glands, and the whole reproductive system work together in production of various hormones and stimulating the movement of the egg cell. So we'll study all that. Let's first discuss the structure of the female reproductive system. This is the female reproductive system. This is the side view and this is the transverse view. There are two ovaries situated at the two ends. Then we have the fallopian tube. This is the uterus, and then the cervix, the vagina. These are the fallopian tubes. You see sidewise, it is situated like this. So the primary sex organs are the ovaries. The secondary sex organs are the oviducts, vagina, cervix, uterus, the external genitalia. All this is located in the pelvic region of the body. Along with that is associated the mammary glands. They help in nourishment of the young baby. Now the ovaries produce female gametes and several steroid hormones. They are almond shapes lying in the lower part of the abdomen, and they are held by broad ligaments by double folds called mesovarium. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeters in length and is connected by ovarian ligaments. And they are also having a suspensory ligament towards the lateral wall. They are covered by a thin epithelium enclosing the ovarian stroma. Each ovary is covered by connective tissue, blood vessels, and mature follicles. They are, if you see over here, this is showing the ruptured follicle. We'll study about the various stages of the follicle in the upcoming videos, but this is where they are located. They have a peritoneum double folded, which is called mesovarium, and inside the ovary is the cortex towards the peripheral end, and inner side is the medulla, and the follicle develops into various stages in every 14 days, and we see the changes. Here is a sectional view of the female reproductive system. Now the fallopian tubes, as you see, they are about 10 to 12 centimeters long, muscular tubes, and they convey the egg from the ovary to the uterus. They provide the environment also for fertilization. We'll study about it again in the later part of this chapter. Now if you talk of this fallopian tube, it has three parts: the infundibulum, ampulla, and the isthmus. The broad funnel-shaped proximal part, which bears finger-like processes called fimbriae. So these finger-like processes are known as fimbriae, and it opens into the body cavity by an aperture called ostium. So basically the ovary releases the follicle in a particular stage, and the fimbriae accepts the follicle, and the egg cell moves into, it is not yet the egg cell, is the follicle which starts moving, and in the ampulla isthmus junction is the place where fertilization occurs. So ampulla is the long, wide, thin walled part of the fallopian tube next to infundibulum, and just after that is a very short, narrow, thick walled, straight part which that follows the ampulla. This is known as the isthmus. Then is the uterine cavity. If you see over here, this is the uterine part. So the follicle, as it is taken up by the fimri, it travels through the fallopian tube, that is from ampulla, isthmus into the uterine cavity. So the uterus is a large, piriform, highly elastic median sac specialized for development of the embryo. It has got 3 layers. Uterus is around 7.5 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide, and it is an inverted pear-shaped structure. It has ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. It lies between the urinary bladder and the rectum. We had seen in the previous slide, it lies between the urinary bladder and the rectum. Uterus has thick, highly vascular wall composed of 3 layers. Outer layer is known as perimetrium, middle one is known as myometrium, and the inner layer is known as endometrium. We'll study how these layers, this is very important, endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium, which is which layer, and it is the endometrium which keeps changing. It's a glandular layer with many blood vessels, and it undergoes cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle. Beyond the uterus is the cervix, which is the wall, and there is a cervical canal, and just above that is the vagina. The cervix is that part which joins the anterior wall of the vagina and opens into it. It is a cavity of the cervix which is called the cervical canal. The cervix communicates above with the body of the uterus by an aperture called internal os, and with the vagina below by an opening known as external os. Here is a gist. The single uterus present in the lower abdomen region is also called the womb, hollow, inverted, pear-shaped, attached by pelvic wall to the pelvic wall by ligaments. Inside the uterus, fertilized ovum grows and develops into an embryo. It opens into the vagina through a narrow cervix. Cervical canal along with the vagina is known as the birth canal. The wall of the uterus has 3 layers: perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. The external thin membranous is known as the perimetrium. The middle thick layer of smooth muscles, and they cause the strong contraction during delivery, are known as the myometrium. Endometrium is the inner glandular layer which lines the uterine cavity and undergoes cyclical changes during the menstrual cycle. Talking of the external genitalia, the mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, clitoris. Is fatty tissue covered with hair, labia majora, then labia minora, then the clitoris, and then hymen, which often torn during the first coitus. The presence or absence of the hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity. This is so because many a times it has been found in sports person, the hymen has already been ruptured. If you have undergone some robust activities, the hymen gets ruptured. The mammary glands, they are paired glandular tissues. They have variable amounts of fats. The glandular tissue is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing cluster of alveoli. These alveoli secrete milk stored in the lumen of the alveoli, and they open into mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join mammary duct. Many ducts join to form mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct through which the milk is sucked out. The primary secondary organs, along with the pair of mammary glands, are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and child care. So the female reproductive system, if we summarize, consists of pair of ovaries, pair of oviduct, the uterus, cervix, vagina. Until now we discussed about the male as well as the female reproductive structures, the external, the internal, the glands associated, the ducts associated, the gonads which are producing the various types of gametes. So you can say we studied the hardware of the system. Now how the system functions, how it moves ahead. First we studied the structures in plants also. The female reproductive part, you have studied the pistil in its various parts. Similarly, the anther, its various parts. Similarly, we have studied the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part. Now in the next video, we will discuss about gametogenesis, how it occurs in males as well as females. I have given you a gist about it in the introduction, but we'll go into the details of it. Thank you.